Are you trying to learn what a Romanian deadlift is and try to learn how to do it without hurting your back, or learn some different variations and alternatives? That's exactly what I'm going to provide to you in today's videos. I'm going to show you all my best tips, tactics, and strategies on how to master the Romanian deadlift. Alright guys, so key points of performance when mastering the RDL. If you haven't already seen the full tutorial, make sure to click that so you can see where I break everything down. But the RDL is going to be awesome to strengthen your grip strength, your hamstrings, your glutes, your forearms, your traps, all that stuff. But you want to be doing it properly. The difference in the RDL and the deadlift is the deadlift is taken from the floor and the RDL is taken from the height where you're already locked out, and then you can walk back and get into the position here. So when you break down the form of where your feet should be, where your shoulders should be, all that stuff, your feet need to be just under your shoulders. You need to be screwing your feet into the floor so you can get tension in your hamstrings. And then with the barbell, you need to be same thing as your feet externally rotating. You're externally rotating and pulling the shoulders back. That way you have a nice flat back position. You're pulling your shoulders back and you got a lot of tension in your hamstrings. Now, a question I get asked all the time, is it okay to use a mixed grip where I have one hand over and one hand under? This is something that you really don't want to make a habit of for a few reasons. It exposes your bicep and can cause a risk of injury. Yes, it does improve your grip strength, ability to perform the exercise, but most people do it because they don't have actual grip strength, and that's what you need to focus on. You can strengthen your grip by doing things like static hangs from the pull-up bar, working on your grip and just doing isometric holds. You can do it by doing farmer carries with heavy kettlebells or heavy dumbbells, or even one thing that I like doing is pinch carries, and the more variations the better. So just holding it by here and doing pinch carries like that is another good way to strengthen your grip. Outside of injury of flipping the grip, it doesn't have any carryover to more complex movements like the front rack position or the power clean or front squats. So when you're going here, I can't carry over here into a front rack position as opposed to being strong here. It can lead to things like hang cleans and all that. You want to get as much transfer of movement in each exercise. So if you're doing front squats, presses, all that, you need to have the exact same grip as you do when you perform RDLs. Stop flipping your grip. You can wear straps if you need to, but try to go overhand. And last tip is if you really need to, you can do a hook grip where you put your thumb under the bar. Come a little closer. You put your thumb under the bar and you hold it like this. It's a little painful, but this allows when you stand up, you lose your grip like this, you put the hand under, and now it's locked in. So get used to performing with lightweight, the hook grip, and that's one of the best ways you can strengthen your grip without using the mixed grip. Now, we work with a lot of high-profile athletes and people that just want to move better on a daily basis. For instance, the guys that I train in the NFL, the first thing that we look at is the feet. When you're doing RDLs, we talked about slightly earlier, you got to have this position locked and loaded, and you got to have tension from the floor because this is your power position. It's going to transfer to everything like we've talked about in the past, power cleans, vertical jumps, squat jumps, all that stuff, because you need to be locked in here where your glutes are turned on and being able to get into power position for things like jumps, being able to always have the knee tracking out and never coming in. And if you're not rooted from the floor, that's not going to happen. We actually have an opportunity where you guys can get plugged into our strength training program for just $1 by heading over to ksquaredfitness.com. You can join as well. So the RDL itself is a hinge-based movement. We have squat patterns and we have hinging patterns where the hamstring and glutes get a lot more work. And one thing I want to challenge you to do is try different variations of the hinge pattern. One way to do that is with sumo stiff legs. So sumo is when we're locked and loaded way out wide. And the difference in a stiff leg and a traditional sumo deadlift would be here. Stiff leg, I want you to put your butt a little higher and you're gonna reach a little more towards your toes. Make sure, like we talked about in the past, never allowing your back to round. Pull your shoulders back and try sumo RDLs. Going to the knee, driving the hips through, always keeping tension in your spine and never allowing yourself to buckle. That's one good variation by changing the foot stance. Another one you can do, grab a pair of dumbbells, heavier than these guys of course, but working on unilateral strength, which essentially means single leg strength. You can put one leg up on the wall, focus on tension here, driving through with the hip. And what you'll notice, I'm trying to work this knee staying over the toe, never letting it collapse like we talked about with the jumping patterns. And you can get single leg RDL work here. A lot of good variations to improve your hamstring and glute strength. Try them out. So how many times have you heard in the gym, squeeze your core, flex your core? That never really made any sense to me until I started practicing gymnastics and learned things like the hollow body. And I learned how to actually engage my core by pulling my ribs down and not allowing my back to arch. Because just flexing my core didn't really do anything. But whenever I learned how to roll my pelvis and bring my chin to my chest, then I started to feel what engaging your core meant. So the same principle applies when you get onto the barbell. I'm going to use this for the example. I'm not necessarily flexing my core, but I am thinking about bracing my spine and bracing down to that chin to chest position, being into this hollow body position. Now, one thing to think about when you're breathing is this. If at the top of your lift, I want you to take a breath from your belly. I want you to hold that breath. Think of it like bracing. So you take a breath, hold it. You can go now below your knees. And then here, there's two things that protect your back. It's your core and your glutes essentially. So if you're going down, you can't squeeze your glutes because they're being stretched, but you need to be protecting your back with your core. So here you got your glutes, here your core. You're always thinking of the two flip-flopping, so you're protected. So you take your breath, you control down, and then here's what I want you to do. Get in the habit of forcefully exhaling and driving the glutes. Take a breath, hold the breath, exhale, squeeze the glutes. Your breath is one of the easiest ways to work your core. Learn to breathe from your belly, learn to brace your belly, and master that position. All right, so next I want to talk about the 3 different phases that is worked in any type of exercise. You have eccentric, isometric, and contract. To get stronger, you want to really emphasize the eccentric phase. You know, if you've ever heard people talk about getting better at pull-ups, to do a bunch of negative pull-ups, that's the way to get stronger. Or tempo squats. The same thing applies to any exercise, is if you overload the eccentric phase, you're gonna get stronger. That's when the most amount of tension happens. So it looks like this. Whenever you stand up, this is concentric. Eccentric, you're controlling down. Isometric is a hold. Concentric, you fire back up. So when you're doing things like Romanian deadlifts and you want to get stronger, we often use it in our strength training program with an eccentric focus. So it might be something like 8 reps with a 4-second countdown. So 4, 3, 2, hold, exhale, drive it through. 4, 3, 2, 1, hold, exhale, drive it through. You actually notice there's a whole lot more demand on your body when you're trying to control the movement as to just rapid fire. There's times to be plyometric and explosive, and there's times to be having a focus on the eccentric phase, and that's one of the things I'll encourage you to do with Romanian deadlifts. So I want to talk to you about some of the common mistakes that I see with RDLs or deadlifts or any hinge-based movement. Yes, it's a hip-dominant exercise that is targeted to strengthen your back, but we don't want to hinder the position by doing this. I see this as one of the most common mistakes all the time. And that's getting here. You've learned to get the shoulders back, but there's no movement in your lower back, and you end up picking it up like that. We do not want you doing that. If you're having a really difficult time getting into that position that you see with this nice neutral spine, I encourage you to take a step back and practice cat and cow with intentionally arching your back, intentionally rolling and rounding your back, so that you can begin to feel what that's like. And before you actually pick it up, try to do that same thing you did on the floor and do it here, rounded and nice and tight. The second thing that I see, and this will actually hinder this as well, is if you don't have your hamstrings in a proper position, like you're here, you're rounded, but you should be pushing the knees out and getting the butt up high. You'll get a lot more hamstring engagement versus if you're squatting, you're using a lot more quads. This is a hip dominant hamstring exercise, so make sure that your shins are vertical and you're not squatting down. Keep them back, push the knees out, shoulders back is the position you want to do. And if you can see some of the benefits already of learning how to do things properly, you should definitely check out our website, ksquaredfitness.com. In all of our programs, we teach you how to move directly through each phase of the lift and every exercise, how you can gradually progress. Frequently in the sport of CrossFit, do you guys even do Romanian deadlifts? And the answer is, in every sport or movement methodology, you should be doing exercises that are going to strengthen your performance and get a well-rounded scope of lots of different exercises. Now, what I don't see a lot in many programs is people warming up properly. And if you have an issue with when you're performing RDLs and deadlifts and all that, of hurting your back, and you have good position, it could be because you don't have your glutes being activated. So I'll encourage you to try this glute warm-up before you get going on your deadlifts next time. Grab a band. This is a great alternative to strengthen your hamstrings and get stronger here. Step into the band, and I want you to perform this series 30 seconds apiece. You can see that I'm mastering that same hamstrings engaged, shin vertical, flat back position. Not here, but here. The band of good morning. That'll get your hamstrings going. Use the mini band and give me some lateral walks. I won't go through the full 30 seconds of everything, but just for you can get an idea. Notice I'm not bringing my feet together. I'm keeping them wide the whole time, mini steps, so that I can get my glutes to turn on and be activated. Remember, the glutes and the core protect your back. You want to have strong glutes. So you did the banded good morning, banded lateral walk, isometric hold. We talked about that earlier. Getting an isometric hold in the side plank is one of the best ways to strengthen your glute medius. 30 seconds per side here. And then another isometric hold, the Palloff hold. Get out here, screw in the feet, get this out right in front of your body, and hold here for 30 seconds. Notice I'm being intentional with my legs. I'm not just standing upright. I've got a small bend. I'm screwing out my feet, and I'm letting my core get activated. Try that warm up the next time before you start lifting and see how you feel. So if you've come this far and you still are not able to get into a proper position of the deadlift or the RDL, I'm gonna take you through step by step right now, the steps that you need to take to master it. So step one, I want you to practice getting into a good arch and rounded position so that you can feel that position on the floor, so when you approach the bar, you know how to now get your back in a good position and a poor position. So having good spinal awareness is the first thing that I want you to do. Second thing I want you to do is to practice banded pull-throughs. You can use a band, bring it together anywhere. Before you actually start to apply load with weight, you want to practice tension but not overload. So walk out with the band. You're trying to master this flat back position and then pull the band through and start to get that same hinging mechanics without any load of the barbell. Because if you're pulling through here You're not ready yet. Really focus on pulling back, getting the shins vertical, and getting the hamstrings and glutes to engage. After we do that, we can then move on to the kettlebell deadlift. So the difference with the kettlebell and the barbell is the kettlebell has weight out in front of you, so the heavier it gets, it's trying to pull you forward. And if you're not strong or aware of pulling your shoulders back, it's going to give you that rounded back position. A great way to fix that is to practice with the kettlebells when it's on the side. Feet are screwed into the floor, the knees are bent, everything else goes back from the hips, and I'm practicing this position just like I did with the banded pull through, and now here I am ready to pick up the kettlebell. Most people struggle on the way down of the movement. They can pick up the weight fine, but when they go down, they just think, I'm gonna just put them down. You don't want that. We talked about it earlier with the eccentric phase. That's when the muscle gets damaged the most, so that's when you need to be the most aware of your position. So if you stand up in a good position, let's go down in the good position. Shoulders, knees, hips, back. Shoulders, knees, hips, back. Feel it in the hamstrings. Once you feel confident that you've mastered the kettlebell, then you can move on to the barbell. Once you feel that position nice and tight, you're good to go. Just be aware, like I talked about, the bar is going to try to pull you forward, so really get these shoulders to pull back and not let you round forward. After you've mastered that, you can move on to banded deadlifts and even things like deficit deadlifts, but work through each of those progressions and you're going to start to really love the different challenges and variety you can do with your movement. All right, guys, so we've shared with you all of our best tips, tactics, and things that you need to know to master the RDL, the Romanian deadlift. We talked about how to not round your back, why you shouldn't squat, the difference between the squat and the hinge, the different progressions and levels to get you there. And now I want you to leave in the comments below what you found the most helpful for you. And then I want you to head over to ksquaredfitness.com and see how you can be a part of our program for just $1 and try it out. You want to get stronger, you want to get better at performance, check us out. We help people from everyday fitness people to people in the NFL and people that just want to improve their strength and performance. If you haven't already subscribed, make sure to smash that subscribe button. Be sure to like, comment, and share with your friends so they don't round their back when they're deadlifting anymore. Get after it, guys.